Hello, we are Rifat Nabi and Nimra Shehbaz. We are in the fourth semester of BS Psychology. In this presentation, we are going to describe an experiment related to cognitive psychology that is known as Surrogate Mother Experiment. This experiment explains the effect of parental affection on development of children. The surrogate mother experiment was conducted by Harry Harlow in 1950s. He was one of the first psychologists to scientifically investigate the nature of human love and affection, which was the objective of his experiment. Through a series of controversial experiments, Harlow was able to demonstrate the importance of early attachments, affection, and emotional bonds on the course of healthy social and cognitive development. The experiment was conducted on baby rhesus monkeys, which can be considered as the participants of this experiment. There were two apparatus used in this experiment, which are as follows. Number 1. Harlow took infant monkeys from their biological mothers and gave them two inanimate surrogate mothers. One was a simple construction of wire and wood, and the second one was covered in foam, rubber, and soft terry cloth. Number 2. A diabolic creature with moving mechanical parts made of cardboard was used to scare the baby monkeys. Many of the existing theories of love centered on the idea that the earliest attachment between a mother and child was merely a means for the child to obtain food, relieve thirst, and avoid pain. Harlow, however, believed that this behavioral view of mother-child attachments was an inadequate explanation. Harry Harlow conducted different experiments on baby rhesus monkeys by introducing them to various environments and situations in order to examine their responses and behavior, which are as follows. Experiment number 1. A baby monkey is placed inside a cage with both surrogate mothers. The wired mother is placed with a milk bottle so it is able to provide the basic needs of nourishment, whereas the cloth mother does not have any feeding bottle attached to it. It is seen that the monkey spent up to 22 hours a day near the cloth mother and returned to the wired mother only when forced by hunger. Experiment number 2. When the experimental subject, that is the baby monkey, was frightened by strange, loud noises made by the diabolic creature, monkeys raised by terry-cloth surrogates made bodily contact with their mothers, rubbed against them, and eventually calmed down. In contrast, monkeys raised by wire mesh surrogates did not retreat to their mothers when scared. Instead, they threw themselves on the floor, clutched themselves, rocked back and forth, and screamed in terror. Experiment number 3. In this experiment, the baby monkey is placed in a different room, which is a new and strange environment for him. Initially, monkey is alone and frightened in the room. This baby monkey was raised by the wired mother all its life. Then the wired mother is placed in the room. But surprisingly, the monkey is still afraid and is not going to its wired mother for comfort. Lastly, the same test was conducted by placing a cloth mother in the room. The baby immediately runs and clings to the cloth mother, despite the fact that a wired mother nursed him. Now, my friend Nimra will explain the results and conclusion of this experiment.
From the experiments carried out, there are several results that can be unified under the umbrella of attachment theory. Experiment 1 highlighted the importance of contact comfort over being provided with physiological needs. Experiment 2 emphasizes how the baby monkeys would seek security in their surrogate cloth mother when felt threatened. And experiment 3 showed how emotional attachment developed towards the surrogate mother but not the wire mesh mother, even when the wire mesh mother was what nurtured the baby monkeys. These results point to the idea that physical affection and comfort are just as or even more important than meeting basic physiological needs in the mother-child dynamic and in breeding affection between the two. Experiment 1. This experiment showed that despite the wire mesh mother providing lactation to the baby monkeys, they spent significantly more time with the cloth surrogate as the graph pictured here displays. This goes to show that attachment flourishes where the monkeys were provided with palpable comfort and satisfying basic physiological needs was given secondary importance, as they would only respond to the surrogate mesh wire mother when they needed milk but otherwise responded more actively to the comfortable cloth mother. The phenomenon also becomes more apparent as the monkeys age and gain more experience and opportunity, suggesting that perhaps spending more time together, therefore familiarity, strengthens affectionate bonds. Experiment 2. This experiment showed that a sense of safety is an integral part of the mother-child relationship. The baby monkeys were more receptive to the cloth mother and would seek comfort in cuddling and clinging onto the cloth surrogate when a diabolical creature was placed in the room to threaten them. This behavior also became more pronounced with age, as the graph evidently shows. Though both the cloth and wire mesh mother nurse their respective baby monkeys, the negligence towards the wire mesh mother in seeking safety is because no tactile comfort is provided to make the baby monkeys feel secure. Experiment 3. This experiment also highlights the importance of contact comfort or social interaction over nursing. Even when the baby monkeys were raised by a wire mesh mother, their emotionality index, that is, vocalizing distress, crouching, rocking, and in general physically expressing their pain, remained the same. There was no solace provided by the wire mesh mother. With the cloth mother, however, as the graph displays, their baby monkeys calmed down and their emotionality index remained low. They would use the cloth surrogate mother as a base of operations whom they would return to and cling to after exploring the unfamiliar room. There was affection displayed towards the cloth surrogate, unlike the wire mesh surrogate. Experimental results, several conclusions can be drawn about the mother-child relationship in ensuring an emotionally healthy child is reared. Psychological needs of being provided with contact comfort rather than physiological needs of being provided with lactation was the major determinant in forming attachment and engendering love towards the surrogate mother. The physical touch present was what bred affection towards the cloth surrogates as more time was spent cuddling and clinging onto them. Furthermore, infants lean towards their mothers for safety, and this was reinforced by contact comfort. Clinging is a natural response when under distress, and when infants need a sense of security, they cling to their mothers who provide a tactile comfort. This clinging response suggests a healthy and affectionate mother-child relationship. Moreover, during the critical period after birth, the baby needs tactile comfort, and this factor is what solidifies and strengthens the mother-child bond. Harlow also concluded from the emotionality indices that maternal deprivation leads to emotional damage. If the baby is deprived of maternal affection or social interaction, which comes from contact comfort during the critical months after birth, this will have lifelong consequences on their emotional development and inability to form relationships. If, however, during the critical period after birth a motherly environment is provided, or even a basic social interaction, the child develops healthily and is able to form affectionate relationships. A major drawback of the experiment is the assumption that rhesus monkeys and humans have identical subjective psychological states which work and react in the same way. But because of the ethical implications of the experiment, usage of human subjects was out of the question, therefore an alternative that closely mirrors human behavior and relationships had to be used. Harlow's experiment has been criticized for being unethical and putting undue stress on the monkeys to test his, ironically enough, theory on attachment and love. Harlow's experiment had negative implications on the female monkeys that were involved in the experiment. Once they became parents, these monkeys would smash their infant's head against the floor and displayed other violent tendencies. Privation also resulted with the monkeys developing anxiety and cowering from other normal monkeys in a state of depression. Harlow's attitude, as given in the quotation marks, towards the subject animals also shows a lack of sympathy and heartlessness that made the experiments possible. He did not care for the well-being of the animals so long as his work earned him fame and prestige, which is an unethical outlook. Proponents of Harlow, however, argue that the benefits of the study outweigh the ethical mishandling, since prior to these experiments it was believed that affection between mother-child is based on meeting needs instead of psychological needs of contact, comfort. This was our study on Harlow's surrogate mother experiment, which concluded that psychological needs of security and comfort were a leading factor in ensuring a healthy and affectionate relationship between mother and child. Thank you for taking your time to listen, and we hope this presentation remained an insightful experience.